All right, welcome everybody. Here we are with project number 4, lead sheets. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is set up a new document. And in this one, we're going to set up a guitar. So create new ensemble. We're making a lead sheet for this one. So we're going to add guitar, and then we're going to add a tablature staff, or known as tab. And you go to tablature, and there's a whole list of all the instruments that can have tab made for it, which is pretty cool. And we're going to click guitar tab and add. You can change the order here as well if you need to. Click next. And we'll type swing low, sweet, chariot, traditional. Click next. This one is 4/4 G major. And I want you to specify a pickup measure for this one. So be sure to do that. It's in the directions, and it's going to be this quarter note pickup. So you can just click that box, click finish. And here we have our score. Yay. All right, so you'll want to enter the notes and rhythms like we've done before using Speedy Entry. And then let me show you how to, I'm just gonna hide that, assuming that you've entered all the notes and rhythms now. We're going to trick this measure 8. Do you see how to accommodate the pickup measure, it only has 3 beats? And this is a technique that I think we've done in some of the other ones, but I'll show you again. So first thing we're going to do actually is add another measure. And I don't know if I show how to do this, but you can click with the selection tool and then right click. And there is insert measure stack. And it will insert a stack, the measure before where you're at. So for 9, we're going to insert one measure, and yay, now it just put a whole new measure right before. So let's do something, let's actually copy this measure 8. I'm going to copy it into 9 because we're going to start kind of slicing and dicing some stuff. So we're going to go to the time signature tool and double click in this measure. And in the original, you can see there's only 3 beats. So we're gonna change it to 3/4 and have this just affect only measure 8. Click more options. Used a different time signature for display. We're gonna turn that on. So it's gonna pretend like it's keeping 4/4. It's not gonna change the time signature, but it's only going to allow 3 beats in the measure. So click OK, and you can see it kind of did that funny thing where it put an extra beat. So I'm going to go to Speedy now, click in the measure, and use the arrow key on my keyboard to go over to that last beat, and click delete. Yay! Likewise, for this measure 9, I'm going to change it, but I'm going to change it, as it says in the directions, to 1/4. So only 1 beat's going to be there, but we're going to have it display 4/4. So time signature tool, double click. We're going to have only 1 beat, affect only 1 measure, click more options, and display 4/4. And it ate the wrong note. Oh no, there we go. Go into the measure and delete the first one. It didn't eat it, it's still there. So this is an arranging thing, especially for a lead sheet. It makes it look a lot cleaner to have these pickup notes with the words they're going to. All right, so then let's do these, the double bar that's here. This is in the measure tool. And you can just double click here and change the bar line. It's a very easy thing to do. likewise, this looks kind of funny here without a bracket. So I'm going to go to Staff Tool and then go to Staff, Group and Brackets, Add. And you can see the brackets are in the original example. And I wanted to do acoustic guitar through guitar bracket. Yay, there we go. All right, so you'll enter the lyrics like you did in the last assignment using the lyrics tool. Same process, so you click over the note and enter the words all the way through like you did. You can use these positioning triangles to move all of them up and down. There's only one set, so it makes it a little bit easier in this assignment. Let me show you how to do chords. So there's a little symbol that looks like C major 7. I'm going to click on that. And very similar process as entering lyrics. You click over the note where you want to enter a chord, and there's a little status entry bar, and the easiest way is just to type the letter. So, oh, whoops, wrong key. G, we're in G major. You can use the space bar to advance, and it advances by beat. So you can see it went each quarter note over. When I get to the next measure, to do C over G, I can simply type C / and you do have to do uppercase, so I'm holding Shift down G, and so forth. You can keep going through. It's going by 8th note on this measure because I have 8th notes entered. And that's that. This one isn't so complicated. When you get down here to, this one has a D and then a D7. If you type 7 and space, it'll stylize the 7 on the 7th chord for you, which is pretty cool. If you want to do fancier stuff, you can see how each chord has a little box, editing box. So if I click there, it turns pink. Right click and click Edit Chord Definition. Down at the bottom under Suffix, I click Select. There's all the crazy chord suffixes you could ever want. So if you do more complex stuff with jazz, these are really nice. You can just simply select one, click OK, and it'll do G major 7 sharp 5 if you want that. All right, let's go back to our plain old G. Okay, so we have this tab, and let's go ahead and name our stabs. So under Window, in the Score Manager, is where we can change the names. So let's click on this bottom staff as well, and we want this to say acoustic guitar. See that in your original lead sheet. And let's delete the abbreviated name. We don't need that in the score. So now it looks just like the original. Also, just in case, there's these little lines here. If you grab onto the line and move them to different spots, you'll see that you can change the score order if you ever need to change the placement in your score. Sometimes some people accidentally have the tab on top. You can just drag it and change the order. So that's nice too. Okay, so to get the tab to recognize in this example, it's very easy, but you'll want to make sure that you've got everything entered. So all the notes, all the lyrics, all the chords, everything exactly how you want it. Because when you drag it into the tab staff, we're going to do it by simply copying it into. So I don't have everything entered yet. I don't have all the chords, but you will. And you simply select the first measure, hold down Shift, click in the last measure where the lines are, and very carefully grab it. Notice how this box coordinates to a beat. Do you see how the starting point changes? I could also do it here. I'm going to be very careful that you have it to the leftmost position to accommodate that pickup note when you drag and drop. Okay, so I'm going to let go. Just click OK in this box. Yes, lowest fret 0. And yay, it's an automatic, so you don't have to enter tab. That would be very specialized. Let's adjust these lyrics. I can already see that in this staff, or actually I want to do a little bit just in this staff. There we go, a little bit lower to give a little bit more room. And I'm going to adjust with these positioning arrows. Make this a little bit lower. There's another way you can give yourself some space, and it's with the staff tool. So click on the staff tool, and if I double click on this little box by the clef, I can drag the whole thing just ever so slightly, just so I have a little bit more room for all these chords and lyrics, so it's readable to a player. There we go. So I'll be looking for that in your assignment, that everything is legible. All right, some bells and whistles with this tab staff. So we're going to go into the settings for the staff. So let's go back to this staff tool, click in this little box again, and right click, edit staff attributes. And we're going to turn on some of the other things. You can see in this one, they actually have a time signature. Click for score. They include the ties. They also include dots. So this gives sort of a rhythmic sense to the tab part, which not all tab parts do, but this one does. And we're going to turn on stems as well. The stems by default are very long, so we're going to adjust. This is in the directions. We're going to set them so they're a little bit shorter. So we're going to go into stem settings, and vertical offset for beam end of stem, we're going to change to 0.25 so that they're not so long. There we go. So you can see now we have a little bit more information in the tab part, and I think we should go back to the staff tool and give this a little bit more space, and then go back to the chords in this staff, and we'll kind of raise, oops, that's not what I'm doing. Yeah, no, I did. Second one from the left does this staff only. There we go. So raise them up so they're not conflicting. There we go. So you can adjust lyrics, chords, and the staffs until you have everything in a nice little spot. This is where the real polish of a great arranger comes from, is all the spacing at the end. Okay, the repeat tool. So we have a fine and a DC al fine in this, and the tool is just this tool, looks like a repeat sign. Click on that, and we're going to double click in this measure and add a fine. Click select, and in the directions it says set to stop on pass 2. So that means it'll go past the fine on the first time, then when it does the da capo to the top on the second time through, it'll stop in the playback. So this is a way of setting your playback correctly. So stop on pass 2 for the fine, and it kind of put it a little low in the staff. Let's bring it up. I would suggest you add the fine 2 at the end so that you don't get a duplicate in the tab part. You don't need fine in the tab part as well, so you only want it on the top staff. Let's add the DC. DC stands for da capo, or to the top, to the cap, to the head, the top of the form. That's what it means. DC al fine, select, and set it to target measure 1. That'll take it back to the beginning when you have the playback. So fortissimo al fine. Great, and I can already tell that I'm going to want to give this a little bit more room. Give it a little more room. And these chords up here, make them nice, close. There, it's getting better every time I tweak. All right, and the final finishing touch for playback is I want you to assign choir ahs to the vocal line, but keep the chords in the guitar. So I'll show you how to do that. Make sure first that under MIDI audio that it's playing through audio units. Make sure you have that selected before you mess with anything else. And we're going to go to Window, Score Manager, and under Device, make sure you have Garaton Instruments for Finale loaded here. You can always select if you need to. If you set up your acoustic guitar, your guitar in the beginning, it usually plugs it in automatically. Sometimes it doesn't, so you can just check that out. So under Name, you'll see it says acoustic guitar. There's a little arrow pointing to the name of the instrument. We're going to click on that arrow. Ooh, and it opens up this whole new menu. And we're going to go down to chords. So this is the layer for the chords we entered. We can actually assign a voice patch. So we're going to go to choir, and let's just do choir ahs. And then the tab staff will just leave it as is. That one, if we open it up, you can see it's all guitar. And so let's just leave that. We'll assume that the singer is only going to apply to the top one. Oh, hold up. I think I did the wrong thing. Chords, is going to be guitar. Layer one is going to be ahs. Right, our lyrics. You probably all caught my error already. Okay, so layer one, which is lyrics and your notes you entered, choir ahs, chords, guitar. It would be a really funny sound to hear the choir singing on your chords, though it might be kind of cool. Okay, great. So that's it for the lead sheet. Have fun with this assignment, and I look forward to seeing your finished products.